Anthony Jones here, Top Gun John Boat. This video is all about LED lighting. I'm taking some very cost-effective LED lighting strips, and I'm installing them in a lip system underneath my casting deck to illuminate down to give me some, I guess, a night light, if you will. So in this, I'm going to go over pretty much how I've installed them. It's a pretty cut and dry video. I'm not going to get into all the diagnostics of the wiring or whatnot. But I will show you how I rigged up the lighting system underneath my lip and kind of how I did my framing to hide the LED light strips under my framing and my carpet. So it's kind of like a trick little mod to hide the lighting and then have some illumination on the deck at night. So stay tuned, follow me on Instagram at @ADubJones, and subscribe here if you like the content. Leave me some feedback, comments down below. Click that like button. Thank you guys. Enjoy. Okay guys, so game plan is I would like to run some thin LED strip lighting underneath this lip. So up under that lip. And when I did this rear bench, if you guys are doing a John Boat conversion and you're looking to add some plywood like I've done here, and whether you're filling in the rear or not, or you just want to do a plywood carpet over your bench, I would recommend, man, adding this little lip like I did. That was just a 1x that I added, and that's going to give me the ability to, as you can see here on my middle bench, that's going to give me the ability to mount my LED lights underneath that lip and then hide them so you won't see them, and then they'll illuminate and shine down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount some strip lighting under this lip here. Okay, up front, and I'm gonna do some strip lighting under here as well, and then back here, and I'm gonna wire them to a switch. And you can see I've already got a ton of junk in this boat. Well, under all that stuff, I got a ton of stuff already wired up, but I'm gonna run all those strip lights to a switch and just use them as like a courtesy light. Just to, when I'm out at night, I guess, and give my boat a little bit of flare. I mean, I don't know, man. So this is what I got. These are just dude, I bought these on Amazon, and I got like 10 of them for like 10 bucks. I mean, they're super cheap. They're bright. I've already tested them out, and I'm just gonna run 3. I'm gonna run 3 on this, under this bench. I'm gonna run 3 under this, and then 3 under here. And so but yeah, I went with blue. I've seen guys do the green. I've seen guys do red. I'm going with blue. So I guess I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, I tried them out. They're bright. I don't know how much power they take or any of that good stuff. They're just like cheap LEDs. You can get them all day long on Amazon. I went with something that had like 1,000+ reviews. So hopefully my boat won't catch on fire. I'm gonna run them to a fuse, so I should be good. But I guess let's get started on the install and how I'm going to do these bad boys. Alright, so what I was talking about with this lip, I'm going to show you real quick. This bad boy's not bolted in. I'm going to flip this over. And so, if you see underneath here, what I've done is this is plywood that I coated in fiberglass resin. And then I've got some oil-based paint around my edges where I cut it back out, and I had raw wood. But this is black. But can you see how that is just a 1x2, and all I did was literally just screw it to the plywood. That's it, and then wrap it in carpet. But it gives me that edge, and it also so I mean, I think it looks cooler than just running straight plywood. But so what I was saying is, if you do just the rear bench, you don't have to do all this decking like I've done. But if you just want to cover your bench instead of sticking carpet right to your bench, and you just want to cut a piece of plywood, man, run this lip. Add this 1x. I mean, it's like not very much more to get one of these. Run that, and then it'll lock into place and it won't move on you. And then you can run some lighting underneath and hide it. So that's just a little suggestion if you guys are looking to mod out your John Boat. But anyhow, that's how I got this set up. So I'm going to take this bad boy over here, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. All right, so with these strips, they actually came with these clips. Now, like I said, I got these on Amazon. So you might want to just read the item description. But see these nice little clips? They're just little plastic clips, and they're made to for you to clip the strip in and not have to rely on this. You notice it just says an M tape. Nowhere is there a 3, so I doubt this is real 3M tape. And obviously, I'm not going to use this to try to stick that to the carpet. I don't think that would hold. So here's the little bit of an issue I've realized, is that this clip is just barely wider than what I'm going to screw it into. And I really want my light tucked in back further, you know, towards the hidden towards the lip. And so if I do my clip this way, then it's sticking out this way, and it's sticking out. So here's what I came up with, man. I'm using these pliers, and again, I've said it before, I don't have a GoPro, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. What I'm doing is I'm taking these clips, okay, and I'm holding them with the pliers, and I'm heating them up with this Wagner heat gun, and then I'm bending them. So I'm taking this clip, applying heat, and just as it starts to melt, I'm applying pressure and I'm bending it to make it look like this. So I'm taking this and I'm turning it into this. And how I'm going to do that is, now what I can do is I could put my strip on here, and then I could secure it by screwing that strip in from behind this side of the lip like that. So I'm not going to have a screw underneath. I'm going to have a screw in the back side, so you'll never see it. And then it's going to secure my strip really tight up against this back of this lip, so it'll hide it further from the outside edge. Hope that made sense. That's what I'm doing. Got the strips installed, so let's take a look here. Got 3 of them, and I mounted them just as I said I was gonna try to do. So when I bent those over with that heat, I was able to screw them into the backside. And for the most part, it's pretty simple. Some of them bent a little bit. Some of the screws didn't want to go in correctly. I did not have to drill any pilot holes. I just ran these little screws in, and they're just like really tiny screws that actually came with those clips. So now what I'm going to do, now that I've got those mounted up, and man, I think they're going to look good, is I'm going to somehow splice these 3 sets of wires in together. I believe I'm going to run these 2 into one, and then run 2 into one, and then that one into this one, and then pigtail it out so they're all connected. And then that's pretty much it as far as this one goes. And then I'll have to do the middle bench, but it'll be the same technique. It's gonna be cool. All right, got it all wired up. I'm gonna show you how I did it. So I went ahead and took this light, and I took the middle one, and I spliced them together. And how I did that was, on this middle one, I routed it around, and it goes back here, and it ties into this one. So see how this one, I've got it routed to there, and I've got them tied in together, and then those go off. And then I've got this light routed under there and back, and then it connects here into these 2. And then I've got my positive and negative lead going out. So these are all tied in together. And I did take some stainless staples, and I took this little trim hammer, and I just tapped those very gently in, snugly into place. And that way it kind of secures my wiring. I would not recommend trying to use a staple gun unless, I mean, you're that confident. I'm not. I would probably hit a wire somehow and mess some things up. So I just tapped that stuff into place. And then for how I did all these connections, I just used this heat shrink wrap and another Amazon plug. But I got this on Amazon Prime for like $7, man. It's got a bunch of different sizes, and it's just, you just cut them to fit, and it works great with a heat gun if you got a heat gun. So you need a hammer, and of course I'm not going to go into all the details of how to wire. That's a whole nother video, but everything's spliced together and it leads out. So now I'm going to do the middle bench the same way, And what will happen is this wiring, this positive and negative, will go to my fuse box that I'm going to install. And then the bench, the other LED lights that I install on the bench will go to that fuse box as well. And they will all run off one fuse and one switch, all the LED strip lighting in the boat. One other thing I did want to mention is that with this bench cover, this piece of wood, I actually cut it a little bit longer than my bench to allow some airspace behind this lip, because I knew I was going to have to route some wires and hide some stuff. So I think I gave myself like 3/8 of an inch. And so that's going to allow for these screw heads and all of this wiring and these staples to sit back behind this lip in that space of air, and not be compacted and tightly fit in there. So I would recommend, if you're going to try to do something like this, to cut your panel that you're going to cover your bench just a little bit long. So when you attach this 1x as your lip and then you go to hide these lights, you can allow yourself some space in here to wire everything up securely and neatly and not have to squish it back into your boat. So just one thing I did, trying to think ahead a little bit. But I'm going to do the middle bench and then we'll see how everything looks wired up. All right, so that part is the middle bench, and it's all finished. So I skipped the whole process. I just repeated what I've already showed you. But you've got 3 lights, strip lights on each side. And just like on the rear bench for this middle bench, all I did was the same process, tied everything together. And then what I did here was I just Gorilla taped all my wiring underneath, and then it's just routing out the side to this point right here. And then what I did was I have cut a hole in the metal, so that wiring will just run under here, and it's gonna feed through, and it's gonna come out here. And this is gonna be my command center for everything. You can kind of see the cover I fabricated, and all the wiring coming out from the rear of the boat, and then all of the wiring from the front of the boat is actually all up here, and all these goodies that are in the front casting deck is gonna come through this channel. But nonetheless, that's how I'm going to feed that wires through that little hole. And this is kind of caved in a little bit. You can't see really well with this this lighting in here, but so I'm not too concerned about how these wires are going to be under here. I think they're going to be well protected with this tape. And then also what I did, another little trick mod, is I've mounted this this seat pedestal here and underneath, and then I've cut the hole just so you could you'll just see the center ring. So actually this is going to act as a spacer, and it's going to give me a little bit of airspace under here for that wiring, how I have it routed. So that's how I did this. I'm going to install it, and then I'm going to hook everything out to the battery, and we're going to see how it looks, and then that's it. And that's it. Got everything installed back into the boat. I'm happy with how it turned out. I've got the wiring just ran to this battery just temporarily, just to test everything. I like the blue color. It's gonna show up a little brighter on this camera and on your screen as opposed to how it actually looks in real life. It's got a nice hue to it. I really like how the lights, the LEDs are hidden up under that lip. You can't see them. It's just like the lights just shooting down from underneath that lip. It's a cool look. It's going to give me some visibility at night. If I go out night fishing, I don't really plan on running these like on non-stop, but maybe for stops and goes, changing out gear, or if I land a fish, it'd be good to, you know, pop them on. Or maybe if I'm cruising around a little bit. I don't plan on getting a whole lot of use out of them, but definitely something cool to have. Again, went with the blue color. They make these in red, white, you know, every color under the sun. So happy with how it turned out. So let me know what you guys think, and look forward to getting some use out of this thing hopefully soon. Until next time, thanks.